What's good, everybody? Salty here. Before we get into these golden tales from retail, I want to let you know we have another drawing contest event. The theme for this one is spring. Ah yeah. This one's hosted by Deku on the Discord. This one ends on May 19th, so you got a little over a month to submit. Alright, let's get into them tales from retail. Here we go. Attempted stealing turned assault charge. Background: I work at a service station, petrol garage, usually doing a pretty wide range of shift times. The store isn't located in a bad area, but we still get more than our fair share of customers who might need reminding they actually have to pay for things before attempting to leave. We are told by the managers that we shouldn't remind them of such, but if they get confrontational or insist on leaving, we're simply to call the cops immediately, pull up the CCTV footage, and put that person on the banned from store list. So one fine rainy afternoon, I'm the only one out front. My coworker is in the back rearranging fridges and other stock. We're mostly quiet, so I'm doing some paperwork behind the till when in comes Crazy Lady, CL. From the minute Crazy Lady came in, she looked pretty shifty, so of course I'm keeping a discreet eye on her as she meanders through the aisles. I watch as Crazy Lady shoves a whole range of items into her jumper before she comes up to the till. The only thing she places down to pay for is the ice cream, and she asks for smokes. As is procedure, I go through with the transaction and wait until the Crazy Lady turns to leave the store, making her intention to steal clear. Me: "Excuse me, ma'am, you'll either need to return the items you've stashed in your jumper or you need to pay for them." Crazy Lady immediately starts yelling,
"What items? I've not got any."
"Ma'am, the store is under video surveillance. I witnessed you place the items in your jumper. If you won't return or pay for them, then I'll have to call the police." At this point, Crazy Lady starts hurling abuse, cussing, and generally being an upstanding citizen. She proceeds to open up her jacket, releasing everything she's taken to fall on the floor, and makes a point of stomping on the items like a behaviorally challenged 3-year-old. Me, eager to de-escalate considering how she's responded so far. "Thank you, ma'am. Please feel free to go." This sets her off even worse. She throws the ice cream she just bought at me, although it's still in a wrapper. While I'm standing there trying to process the fact I've just been hit in the chest by frozen dessert, the Crazy Lady is going for the shelf filled with 2-liter bottles of soft drink that's set up next to the door, and then she begins hurling them at me. Luckily, I'm able to duck into a nearby aisle, kinda panicking at this point because me being a small female against a clearly deranged customer are not great odds. That, and if I did decide to defend myself via violence, I would no doubt be fired. Finally, after what felt like a lifetime, I hear the bell above the door go off, a loud slapping noise, and Crazy Lady starts screeching, like someone had simultaneously just killed her newborn child and shoved a hot iron under her fingernails. I decide to risk taking a peek to see what set her off. Thankfully, it's the police. 2 officers are pinning this woman to the ground and are handcuffing her despite Crazy Lady's best impression of a fish out of water banshee hybrid. My coworker had apparently heard the commotion and called the police. Luck was on our side and that patrol car was only 1 street over. With Crazy Lady struggling the entire way, they managed to cuff her and get her into their car. To finish off a lengthy story, when asked, I did indeed agree to have charges pressed, because honestly, if someone is going to be that psychotic with that little provocation, they probably either need help or to just straight up not be on the street. So this lady buys the dessert, then throws the dessert. She's trying to steal stuff anyways, but she buys the ice cream and then throws the ice cream. "Thank you, ma'am. Please feel free to go."
"Oh, you take this ice cream, you..."
Woman tried to return out-of-date food to the wrong store. So my first job when I was 16, just started college, and I worked part-time in a cheap store that sells almost everything for €1. It was awful pay on the minimum wage for 16-year-olds, €5 something an hour. And one day I'm 6 hours into a shift on a Saturday working as the only person on both the tills and the self-service tills, and a woman, typical Karen, comes storming in and straight to my till.
"Where is your manager? What sort of disgusting place is this? You could have killed my children."
Me, utterly confused, and my cup of care is bone dry. "Sorry, ma'am, what's wrong? Please don't yell at me."
"Don't talk to me like that. Stop with the attitude or you'll be sacked."
"I'm sorry, ma'am, what's wrong?"
"Look at this."
She practically throws a tub of food at me. "Yes?"
"What do you mean, yes? Look at the date I bought this, yesterday."
This thing of food, can't remember exactly what it was. I think it was like a ready meal sort of thing. It was a while ago, but it went out of date in 2004. This was 2016. "I'm so sorry, ma'am. Do you have a receipt so I can return this for you or exchange it?"
"I buy a lot of food. I have 5 kids. Do you think I keep all my receipts?"
Sorry, without a receipt, I can't return this as I don't know when you bought it or if you bought it here. We have many people try and return out-of-date stuff that they just didn't use.
Oh my god, are you calling me a liar? Get the manager now.
He's on his break. He'll be back in 20 minutes if you want to wait. Karen huffs like she's exhaling a hurricane or something and searches through her bag.
Here it is. You're in luck. I didn't empty my bag.
And slams it on my till. Me, looks at receipt. Ma'am, this is for a different store. This is store name. You bought this from the other popular supermarket. Her mouth drops and she looks so embarrassed like she just shat on the floor or something. She takes the receipt back, looks at it, and picks up her item and says,
"Oh, sorry."
She hurried out of the store and I never saw Karen again. The next person in the queue had a laugh with me about it. I quit that job 1 month later. Yeah, I worked customer service at a grocery store for like 3 months. People would bring back empty wrappers and try to get refunds. Like, you know the bag a big ass turkey comes in? They would bring back an empty bag, still gooey and everything.
I need a refund. This was bad.
Like, okay, did you eat the damn thing first or what? Smoking weed and shopping may be hazardous to your wallet. Hey, it's me, your not so friendly neighborhood graveyard store clerk. I bring to you a tale from a year ago that I often bring up to friends when they ask about interesting things, and maybe you'll find it interesting too. It's past midnight and foot traffic is dying down now that beer sales have stopped. In comes this guy with several foot-long dreadlocks in a ponytail of sorts. The moment he steps through the door, I'm hit in the face with the powerful scent of someone who just smoked a ton of weed. Some of the remaining customers give him weird looks as the smell fills the store, but he pays them no mind. He walks past me and over to the drinks, but stops and stares at a display. It was a lollipop display for pinwheel pops. Imagine big circular lollipops that have a loose bit of plastic through the very center so you can spin them like a pinwheel. He chuckles and gives one a spin. I stop watching him at this point as I have other customers coming up and giving me their things. Several customers and minutes later, I glance over at the guy and he's still at the display, now trying to get as many of the pops to spin at once as he can. I clear my throat at this point and ask him, "Sir, do you need help with anything?" Him, "Nah, man, it's all good." I'm now keeping a close eye on him in case he tries to pocket them, but instead he grabs the entire display and walks over to my counter and puts it on there. "Dude, I want all of these, man. My friends will love them." I'm now very caught off guard as no one has ever bought a full display, ever. "Are you sure? These things are $3 a piece." I ask as I'm unsure what to do other than ring him up. "Yeah, man, these are awesome." He gives the lollipops another spin and looks completely lost in them. The whole thing totaled nearly $80 and he paid with cash. He walks off with the display, looking like he just won the jackpot, while I'm left rather confused and a little guilty. He's a regular, and I asked him the next day if he wanted to return any, and he shook his head. "Nah, man, I'm good." So that's my story. I find it entertaining at least, and I hope you lot do too. This reminds me of the Munchie scene in Half-Baked where the dude goes to the store. "Get some sour cream and onion chips. With some dip, man. Some beef jerky." Oh, man. Apparently, we sell cancer. This occurrence happened about 3 weeks to a month ago, and I'm finally calm enough to tell the tale, so here we go. I work at a privately owned tech store that frequently gets compared to a certain well-known American tech company. We have gadgets and gizmos aplenty, from computer monitors to security cameras. We also have a rather wide range of headphones. The story is not about the first gentleman that I am mentioning, but he fits in with the main story. For context, when I was a new employee, cashier, this customer inquired me about a warning on the back of a cheap headphone case. It goes something along the lines of, "Warning, this contains a substance that may cause cancer." I hadn't noticed it before, so I got my good friend / coworker who works closely with the headphones. He explains to both me and the customer that the warning is something put there because of California's regulations. I guess they have a more strict rule against certain substances. Probably a CYA, cover your ass preventative measure. But my friend assures the customer that there's very little traces of this substance and it shouldn't be anything to worry about if you're using your headphones for your ears and not trying to ingest them, perhaps? This is enough for the customer, who just so happens to reek of nicotine, but I digress. Flash forward months later and it's a Sunday. We're open for only 9 hours on Sunday and it's normally our busiest day along with Saturday. For some context, it's good to know that we have lanes, where the cashiers are and where customers pay for their products. On the opposite end of the front of the store, when you first walk in, is the technical support and service side. Cashiers, if they have the proper training, are responsible for managing the service area. There, customers can do returns, exchanges, and pick up their computers that they checked in for technical support. On a regular weekday, there would normally only be one cashier over there, but it's the frickin' weekend and everyone has the time to return or exchange whatever they bought and are unhappy with. Also worth mentioning now that this woman wasn't even my customer, but it still got to me. I had been told to go over to service to help out with the long line and take one of my coworkers off for lunch break. Because even though everyone knows there should probably be more than one cashier over there, the company can't shell out enough money in the weekly budget to allow for more than one cashier to stay over there the entirety of the day. My coworker is finishing up with the customer when I'm finally ready to take my first customer, and the only customer that I would be working with for the next 45 minutes, the entirety of her lunch break, but he's for another story. Needless to say, even though my coworker was on break, they, managers, still needed to send over 2 extra cashiers to help with the line as I meticulously worked with this one customer. By the time I was finished, my other coworkers had gotten rid of the line, and we were all catching our breaths. Long lines don't give me that much anxiety, honestly. I have no problem with having people wait because I'm working with the person in front of me, and they have my full attention. But it had gotten so bad, I was so shaken that even I was just done, trademark. Physically could not handle any other baloney. Up walks her, very unsuspecting middle-aged woman that just wanted to return her $11 headphones. She's working with my coworker that just came back from her lunch break. As expected, coworker asked for the reason of why she is returning them. Her,
I saw on the back that they could cause cancer.
Cue the peanut gallery of myself, my coworker, and my manager explaining that, yeah, California has some stricter regulations about certain substances that causes for them to label the headphones. Most of the headphones we sell have the warning on them. Her, sounding aghast and completely scandalized.
I just can't believe, store name, would sell something that causes cancer.
With a bit more hesitance, we sort of agree but reiterate. Again, most of the headphones, popular ones that cost tons of money, will have that label on them. And she, again, just tells us how shocked and disappointed she is. Like she really thought she had uncovered some dark secret that would ruin us as a company. In my already razzled state, I could feel tears welling in my eyes at the tone of her voice, the sheer ignorance. If that's the right word, maybe oblivion? At any rate, coworker gave her the total refund of $11.01, and we were left alone as we all finished up our respective tasks. To make things even more infuriating, I spoke with my friend who works with the headphones and recalled the story to him. He actually told me that she had came in the next day, still scandalized and upset that the headphones
Could cause cancer, the absolute gall of store name, for being so disgusting.
He had proceeded to guide her to the aisle stacked and filled to the brim with all sorts of headphones and showed her a few brands that had the same warning on the back. I'm not sure if that made much difference to how she viewed the store, but I respect the way he approached the situation. I was ready to lead her to the aisle and say, I'll ring up any headphones you find here that doesn't cause cancer. Meanwhile, this lady has a smartphone in her pocket, which is easily worse than the headphones. This one sounds like a mix of anti-vax and flat earther. And that's going to do it for this episode. Don't forget the drawing contest ends May 19th. If you want to enter, jump on the Discord. Links in the description. Alright, we'll see you all next time. Peace out.